Greetings, players. I've been playing Connect 4 both online and offline for years. I've met some great players, and I've seen way too many players losing over and over again while struggling to understand why this happens. So I decided to create short video series for those who want to learn and master this game. Let's begin, shall we? Connect 4, aka 4 in a line, aka 4 in a row, is played by two players using a vertical grid with 6 rows and 7 columns. Plastic discs, chips, stones, or whatever you call them, are placed into the selected column from the top and then fall to the lowest free cell. The objective of the game is to create an uninterrupted line of 4 stones, horizontally, diagonally, or vertically. Sounds easy, right? Well, it's not that simple as it looks. Connect 4 is designed in a way that player 1, who is moving first, has an advantage. So if both players play perfectly and don't make a single mistake, player 1 wins in spite of all player 2 resistance. The first move advantage isn't huge, and a single wrong move can turn the tables, but bear in mind that sometimes, playing as player 2, you do everything right, and you still lose. Don't get discouraged, it's a part of a game. Changing who is moving first every game evens the odds. In general, there are two ways to win in Connect 4. The first one is a forced win by trapping your opponent. This can be done either by creating two simultaneous instant threats, so your opponent can block only one of them, or by creating two threats, one just above the other, in the same column, making escape impossible. The second one is an endgame win, achieved by strategically creating your threats, so in the endgame stage, your opponent has no move choice other than right below your threat, which results in your victory. Let me demonstrate. In this example, player 1, playing with greens, has created an effective threat in the third row. Player 2 definitely doesn't want to place his stone right under this threat, but as the game progresses, there is no other choice left, and he has to move. In another example, player 2, playing with black, secures victory due to a threat in a row 4. In most cases, strong players will block all your efforts to create traps, so I strongly recommend you, while keeping an eye on forced win opportunities, play your game to win in the endgame. This strategy, if implemented correctly, will let you beat even the strongest players in the world. Speaking of endgame threats, the row number where threats are created makes all the difference. For a major endgame threat to be effective, player 1 has to create it in odd rows, while player 2 in even ones. If both players create sustainable threats in correct rows in the same column, the lowest one wins. If players create sustainable threats in correct rows in different columns, player 1 wins. Having the first move advantage, player 1 must actively seek opportunities to create a sustainable odd row threat to win the game. Failing to do so, in most cases, will result in player 2 victory. Recognizing, building, and correctly developing certain patterns helps player 1 in odd row threat creation. Let's have a look at some of such patterns. The first pattern resembles comma, upside down comma, or mirrored commas as indicated with red lines in this example. Either of these patterns allows player 1 to easily create threat in row 3, as there is no way player 2 can prevent it. This pattern has to be developed in the leftmost column to render the desired outcome. The second shape looks like a figure from Tetris. It allows player 1 to create a threat in row 3 or row 5 if player 2 blocks the third row. This pattern has to be developed in the column next to it. The third pattern, indicated with red lines in this example, lets player 1 to create a major threat in row 3, with some additional steps. At first, player 1 starts to develop the rightmost column. Player 2 blocks the first attempt to create a threat in row 3, but can't prevent the creation of a threat in row 2. This threat by itself would be irrelevant in the endgame stage, but it helps to force player 2 to place his stone in the second row, thus completing player 1's task to create a threat in row 3. I hope you find this information useful, and that it will help you to win Connect 4 games much more often than before. Like this video if you think it deserves it, and of course, I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments. Like chess, Connect 4 has many openings, which are really important to know if you want to become a good player. In the upcoming videos, I'm going to demonstrate and analyze most popular and interesting ones. So subscribe for more if you are interested. And now, let's watch a game. You know what? Let's skip this game. I better give you a bonus tip instead. As I told you before, player 1 has a first move advantage, but it's only when the first move is played in the center column. Any other move against a strong player will result in a loss or a draw at best. So set yourself for success, and always, I emphasize, always, play your first move as a player 1 to the center column. That's all for today, and I hope you learned something.